And here we are, live for another Italian mastery session. Welcome everyone. Let me just share the link to our guys on Facebook and we are going to start. All right, Italian mastery. And there we go. Link shared. Fantastic. Okay. So, welcome everyone to this new Italian Mastery live session. As always, we meet on Sunday at 2 p.m. GMT to practice Italian. What we do depends on the questions we get, whether it's in chat, comments, or whether people DM me beforehand. We always try to stick to a particular topic, but of course people are free to ask questions and comment as they see fit. The purpose of these sessions is to practice Italian, learn Italian, activate the brain cells to do with learning languages and practicing languages. Languages are tools. If we don't use them, we forget them or we don't improve. So it's good to stay curious, to stay active. Active learning is the only type of learning that exists. We cannot listen to podcasts and expect to become fluent. Of course, we can learn lots of things, but it's good to practice. So, as we often do, let's ask the chat. Let's give a few minutes for people to join anyways. Franci, Amedeo, Fiore, ciao, buongiorno. Buongiorno. Let's wait for another couple of minutes. I hope you guys are good. Actually, let me close the window as there seems to be a little bit of noise. I'm not talking about the browser window, I'm talking about my window. So I'll be back in just a second. Hold on a minute. Here we go. All right. Mark, come va? Va bene? Come stai? Come state? Oggi Mark sta guardando il football. Is it correct? Were you supposed to watch some football today? Or baseball? Yeah, baseball. Well, baseball is not very common in Italy, so I doubt you'll find many people in Italy interested in baseball. On my way to Baltimore now. Okay, cool. Sto andando a Baltimore. Which I believe is Baltimora, but I'm not sure. Actually, I'm fairly sure. But fantastic. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to start with. Well, today I wanted to talk about clothes, vestiti. Let's change the screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen, if you can hear me fine. Let me know if everything is working correctly. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to wait for another 30 seconds and then I'm going to start talking about clothes and asking you what you know about clothes in Italian. Okay. I'm eating some chocolate meanwhile. Tutto bene. Ok. Fantastic. So, let's begin. One thing that's important to know about clothes is that it's called clothes. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, clothes. Let me know if you cannot see or if you struggle to see. The word for clothes is vestiti. Vestiti. And the singular form, of course, clothes is plural. The singular form is vestito. Although that's a rare word to use, right? Usually we use clothes as plural. Do you have some clothes? Do you have some clothes? As in, do you have some clothes to wear for a particular purpose? Or, you know, we are on a boat, on holiday, we're far away from home. Do you have clothes? Do you need clothes? Do you have clothes? How do you translate this sentence? It's important that we try to practice, otherwise the words of, you know, remembering lists of words isn't really all that useful. We need to know how to use the words that we learn. Do you have some clothes? Do you have clothes? Do you have any clothes? How would you translate this sentence into Italian? Oh, perfect. Okay. When Mark says il mio, okay, let's break down the sentence. Not to put you on the spot, Mark. So, by the way, Mark made a comment. Said il mio moglie stai guidando. Posso ascoltarmi? Okay, so remember the word. Yes, the word for wife. The word for wife is obviously feminine, but it ends in E. Moglie. Moglie. It's quite strange, but that's the case, right? Marito, moglie, right? Marito, moglie. And because it's feminine, we go la mia moglie. You were correct in having both the definite article and the adjective. That's perfect. La mia moglie, or just, in this case, you can just say mia moglie. Sta, third person singular, guidando. She is driving. Posso, I can, perfect. Ascoltare, perfect. Ascoltare. We don't need any weird ending such as pronouns at the end of this, because listen to something is a just normal verb. We don't need any additional information. Posso ascoltare. So my wife is driving. I can listen to. I can tune in to the session. Perfect. Great. Marito, moglie. Right. So let's go back to clothes. Do you have clothes? Do we have any takers? Anyone? Come on, this is easy. Remember that in Italian, questions are not really questions. We basically change the intonation, but the sentence remains the same. So, do you have clothes is the same as you have clothes. These two sentences, which I hope you can see from the screen, yeah. These two sentences are translated in the same exact way. So what's the word for you in Italian? Remember, we have the personal, let's just write them all down so it's easier to reason about. How does it work? Okay, that looks slightly better. So we have I, you, he or she or it, then we, you, plural, and they. In Italian, that becomes io, tu, lui, lei, noi, voi, loro. So in this case, I'm asking one person that I'm speaking to, so not multiple people. So we need this, right? Okay, all right, let's see. So we have an attempt, Mark, well done. So what was attempted is the following. Let me just copy paste. Hai vestito. This was the attempt. Perfect. Hai vestito is great. Hai is the right word. So tu is basically omitted because in Italian we can think but not actually pronounce the personal subject pronouns because the verb is conjugated in a way that gives us the information already. Hai is exactly that, is the second person singular of the verb to have. Io ho, tu hai, lui or lei ha. So every conjugation is different. Hai, perfect. Vestito. Vestito is, well, the thing is, vestito is best translated with dress, right? Un vestito. It also means just clothes in general, but it's used in the singular form. That's a bit odd. It should be hai vestiti. Vestiti. You have clothes, plural. You have clothes. Hai vestiti, or even better, hai dei vestiti. And this indeed would be hai dei vestiti. The idea about the idea of dei is just the indefinite article, plural, some. You have some clothes. You can also say hai vestiti, just omitting this. But I mean, it's up to you. It's a shorthand. Normally, one would say hai dei vestiti. Do you have any clothes? You have any clothes? You have some clothes. Hai dei vestiti. I can put any and some in parens, just like we did for the Italian version. Right. Yeah. So this is correct. It's a simple sentence, but just to warm up. So well done. Hai vestito is definitely a good attempt, Mark. And a lot of these things that I correct, people wouldn't even correct. They would just understand what you're saying. But I'm here to make your life hard. All of you guys. Ciao Claudio, vado a Londra domani dagli Stati Uniti. Oh, ciao Arturo. Oh wow, ok. Benvenuto in Inghilterra. Fantastic. Quante ore di volo? So, quante ore di volo? So how many hours of flying is that going to be? Mi piace la barba o il pizzetto? So barba, so let's just write it down. Not to shame you, actually, it's perfect Italian, so it's an excuse for us, since we are learning about clothes, to also learn about what's on our face. Mi piace la barba o il pizzetto. So barba is beard. Pizzetto is the when someone has just a little bit of beard, basically. So that's, and mi piace is the correct form, I like. So technically, beard in this example is appealing to me. Piace a me. We cannot say I like in Italian. We have to say something is appealing to me. La barba piace a me. Mi piace la barba. Shorthand, me. Great. So we can now try. Okay, hai I vestiti? Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so this is another attempt. Arturo, well done. Hai vestiti. We can copy paste it so that everyone can see. Hai vestiti. Maybe a little bit bigger so people can actually read. Hai vestiti. So we had a different version, right? We had hai dei vestiti. This is what I wrote, right? And then this is what Arturo wrote. Hai I vestiti is fine, but it's different, right? So one is, do you have any clothes? Hai dei vestiti. For example, you meet someone on the street, they're a bit crazy or poor or both, they're naked, you can say, hai dei vestiti? Do you have any clothes? But if we're doing a photo shoot, right? Say there's a girl, Barbara, she's doing a photo shoot and she comes with no clothes. I mean, she's wearing clothes, but she doesn't have any more clothes for the photo shoot. She forgot the clothes. So I can say, hai I vestiti? Do you have the clothes? The clothes. So obviously there is a difference in meaning, but I would say the English and the Italian language work in the same way in this case. So there is nothing conceptual, but it's interesting to find the same concepts in Italian, right? Hai I vestiti. I is the key word here, right? I is the definite article as opposed to indefinite. Some clothes, the clothes, right? I vestiti, dei vestiti. Remember something also quite important. Vestiti. So vestiti. This is the word that we want to remember. If you are not going to remember anything about this lesson, but one thing, it should be the word vestiti, because you're going to hear it a lot. You can use it a lot. It's very useful. Vestiti, ho vestiti, non ho vestiti. So I have clothes, I don't have clothes. Like this is very useful. Another word for clothes that is slightly more advanced, but also common, it's abiti. Abiti, and the singular form is abito. degli abiti. Ho degli abiti, tu hai degli abiti, lui non ha abiti. As I said, the context in which this word is used is more when, for example, people go and buy clothes and there's a clothing line or there's a store. Is a relatively more professional way to say the same thing, but vestiti is perfect, right? So if you only have to remember one, remember vestiti. Okay. Matilde, ciao, ce li hai I vestiti? Yeah, so this is very interesting. I'm not going to go into depth uh, uh, about analyzing this because this is something that some Italian native speakers could say in certain occasions, and it's not correct. And if it is, it's very complex because we are dealing with the famous pronoun clusters where we have two logic components that come into one and affect each other. Anyways, go and look it up. Pronoun clusters. We obviously covered that in depth in the university on our website. I think we also tackled them in one of the sessions here, but it takes a very long time to cover them. But basically, we are adding some extra things to this version. But let's stick to the versions that we looked at so far because they're simple and they're correct. Not to just shame or to avoid talking about subjects, but sometimes we have to understand that certain things are simple and some other things are very complicated, and it's good for these sessions at least to just keep it simple and easy, which is the objective, one of the objectives of this lesson. Let's talk about a different example. For example, maglietta. Maglietta. This means t-shirt. Camicia. This is a shirt. Cravatta. This is a tie. Giacca. This is a coat or a jacket. And say last, gonna. This is a skirt. So I would like someone to try and come up with some examples with these words. By the way, if you have a question, feel free to post it, or if you have a comment. Okay, are you wearing a shirt? And the answer is no, I'm wearing a t-shirt. So feel free to attempt this couple of examples. They're quite easy, but they're also very important. Come on, guys, I want to see more activity in the chat. Don't be afraid to say something completely wrong. I'm the first one that makes lots of mistakes in these sessions. So, many times I just have to either Google things or I remember something and then I have to go back to it because I realized that I made a mistake, etc. Maglietta, this is a very common word. Maglietta, t-shirt. Camicia, shirt. Cravatta, that's a tie. Giacca and gonna. Almost all of them have double consonants, so one has to practice to pronounce these things correctly, and they're all feminine words. Interesting. Okay. Are you wearing a shirt? One very simple way to translate this is, do you have a shirt? As in, do you have a shirt on? Hai una, right? Because we have to use the feminine indefinite article. Hai una camicia. Do you have a shirt? Or hai addosso. Addosso means on, like. Or another way to ask this question could be, there's many ways. Ti sei messo, or ha una camicia? So, have you put on? Mettere. Messo is the part participle of mettere, which means to put. And this is a very important verb. Messo is the past participle. So, ti sei messo or messa una camicia, depending on whether I'm talking to female or male. Ti sei messo una camicia? So, did you put on a shirt? Did you remember to put on a shirt? Hai una camicia addosso. Do you have a shirt on? Right? No, I am wearing a t-shirt. So given these examples, how would you translate the answer? No, I am wearing a t-shirt. Can you guys see the screen? Yeah. All right. Put some colors around these things. No attempts? All right. So, no, I'm wearing a t-shirt. No. No, la camicia. O non ho una camicia. Or no, non mi sono messo una camicia. Or la camicia. both are acceptable in this case because the context is not very well defined. So here's another question. Based on the previous example, oh, I think it's something that someone said in the chat. I think Mark said something related to I like something. So how about I like this tie very much? Keep in mind that tie is cravatta. And I like in Italian, well, you should know this by now because we've encountered it so many times, especially earlier. I like this tie very much. Very much can just be translated with much. So in English, you wouldn't say, I like this tie much. But in Italian, you can say that. Much. Molto. Molto can be adjective or adverb. So much, molto. This is quite important. I like this tie very much. So, no attempts so far. Is it very scary? Have I thrown you off in some way? Let me know in the chat now if the topic is too difficult or if there's something about this topic that, you know, puts you off in any way. Oh, okay, we have a few attempts. No, io metto metti un, okay. Let's go one after the other. So there's a few attempts. Metti un camicia, question mark. Okay, perfect. Mi piace molto la cravatta. So this is 100% correct. So this is great. Mi piace molto la cravatta. Bear in mind, this tie, this, and the word for this and the word for that are super important. This is questa. Questa. If it was something masculine, questo. For example, the word for hat, cappello. We saw this in the past. This is hat, cappello, and we can give it a little background as well. Cappello. Hat is masculine, right? So, I like this hat very much. How would you translate this sentence? By the way, congratulations, Mark, that was perfect. Ho una maglietta giallo, non indosso mai una cravatta. Ok. Ho bisogno di una giacca. Non indosso mai una cravatta, ho bisogno di una giacca. Okay, so there's a few examples in the chat. I can cover these. We can cover these. Great. So, let me know what you think about the last example. I like this hat very much. So we have seen I like this tie very much. Mi piace questa cravatta, this tie, molto, very much. Although in Italian we say mi piace molto questa cravatta. So we put much in, just after the verb, before the object. And the same would happen in the second case. I like this hat very much. Mi piace molto questo cappello. So in this case, the reason why we have questo is because cappello is masculine. So questo is masculine. Questa was feminine because cravatta is feminine. So tie is a feminine word. Right. Fantastic. Yeah, correct. Right, so we have a few examples. Ho una maglietta. Okay, let's go through all the examples. So I like this. Posting examples is very useful because then we can go through them. So this, what's happening? Okay. Ho una maglietta giallo is fine. I have, ho, una maglietta, so a t-shirt, giallo, so yellow, a yellow t-shirt. Remember, giallo is a color, but in this case, well, that's not really yellow. Let's change it to yellow. Perfect. In this case, it goes together with t-shirt, yellow t-shirt, a yellow t-shirt. So now yellow is an adjective, right? It goes with t-shirt. So it has to go gialla, feminine. I have a yellow t-shirt, gialla. Ho una maglietta gialla. I have a yellow t-shirt. Ho una maglietta gialla. Perfect. So, well, perfect. Great, except the ending of the adjective. Non indosso mai una cravatta. Okay, so this is more complex. That's good. I like this. Let's go. So this is a more complex example. First of all, there's a few verbs that we have to be aware of. Now, whether we want to learn them or not, that's down to opinion, but we have to be aware of certain verbs when it comes to talking about clothes and wearing clothes. So one is avere. Avere means to have. Actually, to have on. Avere. Addosso means on someone, yeah? On me, on. To have on, to have shoes on, to have a coat on, avere, and sometimes it's omitted, avere addosso. Avere addosso una giacca, avere addosso una maglietta, avere addosso, etc., etc. The second verb that's also important is, and can you see everything? All right, you can see almost everything now. That's perfect. The second verb that's also important is vestire. Do you remember? Vestiti means clothes. Ho vestiti. I have clothes. Non ho vestiti. I don't have clothes. Vestire is to dress. For example, Vestiti. This means dress up. Right? So vestire, to dress up. Vestire. And then to put on clothes, basically. To put on clothes. There's another verb that has the same meaning, which is indossare. Indossare. Indossa quella maglietta. So, put on that t-shirt. Sto indossando una bella giacca. Sto indossando una bella giacca. Sto indossando una bella giacca. I am wearing a beautiful coat or a jacket. So these are very important verbs when it comes to talking about clothes. And with this in mind, non indosso mai una cravatta. Correct. I don't ever wear, mai, ever. I don't ever wear a tie. Brilliant. Very good example. Very good. La mia gonna è strappata. Okay, yeah, this is useful. This is good. I think that my questions are often a bit improvised and not very well thought after, and your examples are actually better. So maybe I should retire. La mia gonna è strappata. No, I love this. I'm joking. These are good examples. And the examples that are absolutely best for you are the ones that you struggle with. So this is the reason why it's important to keep this interactive. La mia gonna è strappata. Let's see. What does this mean? Try to understand what it means, even if you don't have the tools yet, or if you don't think you have the tools. Try to understand what it means. By the way, we're going to go through these examples and then it's over because we've already gone for about 40 minutes. Time flies. So, la mia gonna è strappata. So we saw earlier gonna. Can you see it? Gonna. Gonna is skirt. La mia gonna. So my skirt. Remember, in Italian, very often we still add the definite article when in English you wouldn't. La mia gonna, my skirt, because it's the one I have. It's not just a skirt of mine. It's la mia gonna, non una mia gonna. La mia gonna. È, it is, third person singular of the verb to be. Strappata. It's torn apart. Let me see what... Yeah. I was wondering if there was a better way to translate it, but no. La mia gonna è strappata. So, my skirt is torn. It's ruined. Right. Well, that's not very good. But it is a very important adjective verb. Strappare. To tear apart. And of course, when it comes to clothes and clothing, it's something that happens. So another way would be la mia gonna è rovinata. My skirt is ruined. It's damaged. La mia gonna è macchiata. What do you think this means? I'll ask you this question. Macchiata. Macchiata comes from macchiare, a verb, and it comes from macchia, which is a noun, macchia, a very common, very important word. Una macchia is what? Oh, okay. Ripped. Yeah. Arturo is correcting my English. Yeah, so my skirt is ripped. Yeah, I thought there would be a better way to say it, but it didn't come to mind. Absolutely, skirt is ripped. This is what I do these things, right? So I can learn something. Mi piace molto questo cappello. Capello. Careful, Arturo, with the double. So this is a reason why it's important to study Italian. La mia gonna è macchiata. My skirt is stained. Macchia is stain. But I would like to just quickly go over the last example, which is a great example. Mi piace molto questo capello. Careful. So I like this hat very much. Of course, we use questo because cappello is masculine. Careful. There's a P that's missing here. So we need to add an extra P because otherwise it means hair. I like this hair very much. Like one hair on your body, for example. One hair in particular, not hair in general, just one. I like this hair, and I doubt that this would be a useful sentence. I mean, it's always possible, but yeah. Mi piace molto questo cappello, as opposed to mi piace molto questo capello, which would sound very strange. So, yeah, always be careful. All right, I think it's we've gone through a lot of words, a lot of verbs, a lot of nouns, new things, maglietta, camicia, cravatta, etc. And we looked at a few examples as well. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to put a like under this video if you found it useful. And if you have any comments for me, let me know in the chat or in the comments or DM me later on. I'm going to be here for another 2-3 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And if not, we can meet next week at 2 p.m. GMT, as always. I like the fact that there has been quite a few questions and quite a few examples as well. No questions? I think I've left you a little bit confused with these with this topic. I think that for some reason it might not be as easy as I think it is, or there might be some, what would you say? Some reasons why the sentences end up being a little bit challenging. So the words themselves are easy. Gonna, cappello, maglietta. But then when it comes to expressing ideas, then maybe some of you find it a little bit challenging. Feel free to ask questions even after this video is over in the comments, or examples or ideas for activities to do that would allow you to better practice words to do with clothing. And if you enjoyed this session, we can do more clothing next time. Orologio, collana. There's many other words that we can learn that are useful. All right, we've been going on for over 50 minutes and I am very tired. I think you probably are tired as well. As always, it's a pleasure to be here and do these things with you. Prepare some questions for next time and have a good Sunday. Buona domenica, buona settimana. Ci vediamo alla prossima. Ciao a tutti.